Thank you so much for joining my live today. And today I come to you with another topic. So, we talked a lot recently about the lowered state of self worth, about the fears that we face when we are in a state of not believing truly in our inner power, not feeling confident, not feeling strong self-esteem. And so what to do today? Let's talk about what to do when we are actually experiencing the inner blocks. And so if you're here, let me know you're here. Give me some hands up, hearts. It always makes me feel good when I am being watched, and it makes it more actually vibrant when you are taking part of the conversation with me, so it doesn't feel like a only monologue. But today I wanted to actually make it special and make it almost like a coaching session with you about this topic. So, like, I wanted to start with explaining a little bit, like, how do we experience in inner block, how do we experience those blocks? Because sometimes, like, maybe we are not familiar with, like, how would it feel like to have this inner block, and maybe we are even in personal avoidance to look at it as inner block. It is what it is. Say hi to me if you are here, because I'm very happy if you're joining my talk. And so, like, how do we experience inner blocks? It could be an experience that is on an emotional level. So, like, if you experience emotional block, you may feel fear of failure, feel like you're doubting yourself, you're disbelieving that you have this internal power to face some next level, something that is ahead of you. So what you do is withdraw yourself. So you withdraw yourself from situations. So that's on the emotional level. But, like, how differently inner blocks can feel inside of our body. So if you think about it on a mental level, what do you experience when you feel inner block? You feel that you're overthinking. You also feel that you are not capable, so your self-belief is going down, and so, like, you're withdrawing. Yes, give me some thumbs up. And so, behaviorally, what do you feel inside when you are what is your action then when you are feeling inner block? So very often when you are experiencing inner block, you start procrastinating. You are not putting yourself in a position of, I'm going to take the project from A to B. Instead, you're overthinking about the project. You are not putting yourself in a position of action. Instead, you're actually procrastinating. You have this behavior that is like self-sabotaging. And then you also, very often what I see is you're avoiding yourself. So, like, you're finding hundreds of other things to do other than the thing you actually supposed to do the most. So that's the inner block. And so how your body can feel when you are experiencing inner block. Your body probably is tensed up. So because you are feeling paralyzed by your own inner block. And so there is sometimes I notice fatigue. So, like, when thank you for hearts, I sometimes I see in my clients that when they experience inner block, they feel exhausted. They feel like, yeah, I have this time. I created this space for going and creating my project, for example. But then I woke up and I feel so exhausted. So instead, hi, Anetka. So instead of, like, going forward with the project, we put ourselves in a position, yeah, like, my body is exhausted. So I'm going to listen to my body and I'm going to lay down instead of facing the inner block and say, wow, I am experiencing inner block. That's why I am experiencing the fatigue. And so sometimes people experience inability of breathing. So like when the stress comes up, the block comes up, we can't sometimes breathe. So that's on a physical level. But like on a creative level, like when we are experiencing inner block, so what are we feeling? Like I am not able to start and finish the project. Like, so let's say if we are in a creative state and we know that we have to go into creative process, we are, like in an avoidance state, and we are totally not able to get into like the zone of creativity. And so like by doing this, we put it aside and walk away from what we're supposed to do. And so perfectionism. So another level of a creative block is when we are not trusting ourselves. And so I see it sometimes like we have a goal, we have a project to do, and then there is a block, and this block is connected to thinking of a big huge thing instead of breaking it down into small pieces that we are capable of facing. So like if I see something that is so big ahead of me, I tend to withdraw because I'm not able to face the whole project itself. And so we can then look at the project and break it down into smaller pieces that we can face. Hi, Yolo. Hi. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so today we are talking actually about the process of lifting off and helping ourselves in unblocking ourselves. So when we are struggling, and when we experience this inner block that could be experienced on an emotional level, physical level, creative level, behavioral level, physical level, then just think what we do. We are so focused on the problem that we are unable to pass through it. And so when I am emotionally thinking to myself, like, I am unable to do something, then I withdraw and I don't see the possibility to grow out of it. And so, like, my solutions are extremely limited because, like, if I am going to see the big project ahead of me, and then I'm going to start feeling, let's say, fatigue, headache, or something different, I'm going to put my project aside and face the fact that I struggle. And so like it's like a cycle of like going nowhere. So like how to get ourselves from the cycle so we can experience actually something that is more positive. Okay, so what I want you first to do is to recognize what is the block. When you're reflecting on your life, when you're reflecting on when you experience those inner blocks, I want you to start seeing the pattern. So for example, each time I'm about to start the project, because of my fear of failure, I withdraw from the project. Or every single time I want to start writing, I start having headache and I make myself go to sleep, for example, or whatever it is present in your life. So, what is your reaction to the inner block? So, is it on a mental level? Is it on an emotional level? How do you recognize your inner block? Because that's very, very important. And so, when you recognize your inner block, then what is the conclusion that you make up, about yourself in a moment when you are withdrawing? So, hi Viola. Hi, thank you so much for watching, guys. Today we talk about what to do with our inner blocks. And so, okay, so what is then my conclusion about myself when I know that I struggle. And so usually my conclusion about myself is not really positive, is the negative thinking about myself. So let's say, like if I am let's say if I am anxious person and I experience that in my life very often, I would, for example, be so excited to see my friends. And in a moment when I would schedule seeing my friends, I would be so excited. But the day of seeing them, I would start feeling not good. My head would start hurting me. And I would, at the very end, I would wait to the almost last moment. And in the last moment, I would cancel the gathering, cancel my presence at the meeting because I would withdraw. And it took me a little bit of time to realize that it's my defense mechanism, because my fear of failure, my fear of being seen, or maybe my fear of being judged was so much at the surface that it was making me feel sick. It was making me feel unable to go. And I would blame actually my headache or me not feeling well for not going and attending this meeting. But actually, behind all this that my body was experiencing was my own fear. And so, when I had this fear, because then what was happening after I said, no, I'm not going to be able to attend the meeting? Well, there was disappointment in others. And when there was disappointment in others, it led me into disappointment about myself. Like, I don't understand why I did that again. I don't understand why I did that again. Well, I did that because my fear of judgment or my fear of rejection was making me withdraw from actually attending the meeting. And so when you are actually scanning your life for your inner blocks, recognize your action. So it could be your mental thinking, it could be your emotional state, and could be also physical appearances that actually hide the real reason behind it. So then when you know, like when I knew people are disappointed in me because I was in the last moment canceling something like meeting, then I felt disappointed in myself. And so my next step from being disappointed in myself, like for example, if you're self-sabotaging yourself, if you are uh, blaming yourself from something, then what is the next thing that you do? You are creating some kind of conclusion about yourself. And this actually self-conclusion about yourself could be, for example, you're not good enough. If you were good enough, you would not do that. You don't feel equal to them, that's why you are doing this. Like you fearing because maybe they are going to see how you are unable to be the way they are maybe thinking about you. And so what is the conclusion that you create about yourself in a moment of you withdrawing, in a moment of you giving the power to the inner black and staying in a bag? Because this is very, very important, because every single time it happens, and we already know that this inner program it goes in a cycle. So it doesn't happen only one time in your life, but it happens over and over and over again. So you can definitely pinpoint it. And so every single time that you are not facing this inner belief, you are actually reinforcing the inner belief. So if you are not going to face it, it's going to keep going in the same cycle. And so the question is, do you really want to have this reinforcement of negative self-belief about yourself, or you are ready to face it. And so this actually, I would have to say, goes deeper. And here is what I am going to explain to you. So let's say, if I am going to conclude something about myself, my conclusion is not that it's only today. We have to take this conclusion that we created about ourselves and go all the way to the childhood. Because at some point in our life, this self-conclusion, this situation of you created some kind of benefit for you. And so when you start seeing that this mechanism supposed to help you in a past, but no longer is helping you right in this moment, you'll be able to lift it and shift it. So what can possibly be a benefit of you not doing what you're supposed to be doing? Like if you think about it, like a child is not capable sometimes. But like if I am going to not be able to take care of my shoelaces, and I'm going to say I'm not able to take care of my shoelaces, then maybe my mom or my dad or my older brother or my sister is going to come to me and help me out. And so if I am going to create inside of my brain, inside of my psyche, a belief that every single time that I am needing help in something, somebody else is going to come in and help me out. Let's say I created this belief. Or, like as children, we have small legs, and so maybe walking long distance can be hurting our small legs. And so like if I will stop and say my legs are hurting me, maybe my dad would come in and lift me up and carry me, from playground to home. And so that again gives me information, like if I am going to stop and withdraw, somebody is going to come and help me out. And so maybe in the past it benefited me, but up to this moment, if you scan the same cycle of behavior, what is the hidden benefit that I hope for when I am withdrawing from the situation? Do we believe, let's say, my own situation, but you can look into your own situations. But based on my situation, so let's say I would want to see my friends. I would look forward so deeply to see them because I love them. And then I'm experiencing withdrawal, and I'm experiencing, let's say, headache, and I'm experiencing something that keeps me at home so I can cancel this meeting. Then what could be my hidden benefit? Like maybe I hope for somebody to call me and ask me, how do you feel? Do you need anything from me? Do you need some extra caring? Hi, do you need some extra caring? Maybe this is my hidden agenda that is making me feel a certain way, but it's not happening. So I only stay with like this not good feeling inside of myself. And so I have to then question if my conclusion about myself that is negative after is still benefiting me. And so I want you to answer to yourself and like even give me some information. Can you scan your own inner blocks and your own negative conclusions that you create about yourself, and look for your own, through your inner process, going back, is there any hidden benefit that you are experiencing based on your decision? you know. So let's say if we take perfectionism, if I am not going to start the project, I'm not going to be judged if I do something wrong. So I rather not start the project than be judged later on. So look, so then perfectionism is like protection mechanism from being judged. And when you realize this, you might ask yourself, is this still benefiting me? Because I feel stuck. And when I feel stuck, I don't progress into the future if I'm going to constantly keep myself in this old belief. And so now what I want you to do is to leave this feeling, leave this negative self-belief, and then you have to ask yourself, how would it feel like inside of myself? How would it feel like if actually I was able to finish the project? How would it feel like if I went to meet my friends? How would it feel like if this whole inner block was dissolved and there was no problem? How would it feel like inside of myself? And then you can sense it. You can write it down for yourself. How would it feel like? So, how would you feel more capable? Would you feel more free? Would you feel just able to open your wings? Like, how would it feel like to be unstuck? And then, if you had this feeling, what new conclusion you could give about yourself? What would be a new conclusion that you could give about yourself? So instead of thinking maybe I'm not capable, maybe I would replace it to say I am fully capable. Or let's say sometimes I have my clients coming and say, I struggle with money. And so, what is the old belief about money? You know, like sometimes we have, even through our family setting, belief, for example, money is so hard, like it's hard to live easy, or whatever the belief that maybe our parents very unconsciously passed through themselves on us. How would you feel if you replaced it with saying, money comes easily and effortlessly to me? And so, how would this new belief feel inside of you? Would it feel light and easy, or would it feel like heavy? Because I feel like when we take ourselves from the problem and imagine how would it feel like for it to be already overcome, like if we overcome our problem, how would it feel like inside of us? Feeling light and easy, feeling that I am capable, feeling that I accomplished something, feeling almost like celebrating the fact that I was able to overcome something that was holding me back for so long. And so I want you to create new conclusion about yourself. So instead of the stuck conclusion and belief, I want you to create some new conclusion that will give you permission to be different. Okay? And so when we create a new belief about ourselves, it might feel like, yeah, but you know, like, how can I say that to myself when the old thing is true? You know, like it is only true because mentally you believe it is true. And so let's say if you have strong belief in a negative, and then you have very like baby like new belief. So this is like a big tree and this is a small tree. That is like you just planted the seed of a new belief. So this one seems to be very strong and powerful. But this new tree is starting to sprout and grow. How do we grow our new tree? How do we grow this new belief? Well, each time that we are going into negative self-talk, each time we go into negative and self-diminishing kind of thoughts and emotions, we are feeding this big negative tree. But if we choose on daily basis, go into positive reinforcement, into positive voice that is giving us evidence and reason behind feeling positive, we are putting nutrients for this new positive and beautiful tree to grow. And the more beautiful positive reinforcement we give to ourselves, and the more evidence actually we look for every single day to find that yes, I am capable, yes, I am successful, yes, money comes easily and effortlessly to me, the more I feed this tree, the stronger it becomes. And at some point, those two trees become almost like equal, and there is a choice. It's always your choice. What are you feeding? Are you choosing to feed the negative, self-diminishing tree that is inside of you? Or are you going to feed with positive reinforcement this tree that is actually growing fast, very fast inside of you? And so, like, the more you are going to put nutrients and positive thoughts and positive reinforcement, this tree is going to get even stronger and grow so strong that this one, you're going to take food away from it and you're going to not noticing it anymore in your life. And so that's the way we are going to be replacing the old belief with the new belief. There is no magic wand. There is nothing that is going to, boom, take you from here to here. But we already know through research, psychological research, and also energy work research, that actually to create new habit, you need to have at least 66 days into creating new habit. And what is new habit connected to? New habit is connected to creating almost like unconscious thing that happens naturally. So let's say if I wanted to go to the gym, maybe like the first week goes fast because it's so much fun, I still feel like adrenaline, but then the following week is no longer connected to my adrenaline, is connected to my decision, to my discipline, and to my choice every single day. So, at the very beginning, when you are starting to work on your inner belief, you may feel like, oh wow, it's so cool, I see, I feel, and then the following days when the reality kicks in, you're going to want to be pulled into something that you already know, into something that is so typical for you, into the cycle that is constantly existing inside of you. So like when you start recognizing this and you start saying to yourself, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I'm getting pulled back into what I know already from the past, then I want you to kick in inside of yourself this inner state that is your choice. Your decision is to build new self belief. Your decision actually is to build, empower yourself. And this, what you are choosing to do, is your own. So let's say if you know that you want to feel good about yourself, what activities make you feel good about yourself? What music makes you feel good about yourself? What support system do you have to make yourself feel good about? If you know what makes you feel good and develop this inner voice, because we have inner critic, and if we have inner critic, we for sure 100% have also positive voice that is inside of us that is building us up. Instead of feeding this negative voice, start feeding the positive voice. And you can start feeding it by recognizing small things that you do. And then when you actually recognize those things, I want you to feel happy about yourself. I want you to feel almost like proud, but not without ego. But I want you to celebrate and be grateful for the little things, little occurrences, little things that happen in your life that shows you that you are capable, that you are able, that you can do this, that you take this project, and so this is another layer of working with yourself, with the inner blocks, is to actually, when you know exactly where is this inner block, you can very slowly take yourself from the inner block to the open state. And so the process is slow process. But let's say if you fear going to people, maybe start connecting with them over the Zoom. So start building your skills, additional skills that will help you to grow the stronger inner belief system about yourself. I had like one of my clients said that she doesn't like herself. And so, do you not like yourself fully? What do you like about yourself? And then when you know the aspects of yourself that you like, then grow them inside of you, cherish them inside of you, notice them every single time. And sometimes, because we are so like blocked sometimes so deeply, and we are not capable of seeing and experiencing the things that are good about ourselves, or see our talents, or see our inner gifts, we can't perceive ourselves maybe so much because we are so much in this inner critic. I suggest you to ask few people that you trust what they find interesting about you, what they find unique about you, because those people will tell you how they feel maybe in your presence. Like a lot of times I work with people with they are very sensitive people, and because I'm also sensitive, and so sensitive person, there's a lot of empathy in there. But empathy also is wonderful, and also, but we have other aspects of us, because very often sensitive people withdraw, and so they give permission to others to trespass their boundaries, or like we alone, we withdraw and we don't have those boundaries. So I feel like asking others, truly, like, not looking for external validation, because it's not about this, but asking your own husband, your own child, what they love about you, those people you fully can trust. And so I love you too. Bye. So those people you truly can trust, and then start developing this, what you know about yourself. And so if you give yourself permission to be yourself, then you start feeling this internal empowerment, and then you start actually growing this inner core that will help you to actually go over the inner block. And again, so if we have the inner block that is related to a project, sometimes, like, the project itself can feel overwhelming. So breaking down the project into smaller pieces that we can face is a great approach. And so I feel like that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is like a coaching process. Very often I take my clients into coaching process like this, and every client requires something different. So it's a very unique process, and we process their own personal inner blocks. And so if you have an interest in working with me, then let me know. I work individuals in the private sessions, but I also help, especially people in the healing industries, to grow and build strategy about their businesses. So if this is something you are interested in, hi, let me know. I also wrote a great book. The name of the book is The Essential Thread. And so, if you would like to know more about how our self value, cześć Kasia, how our self value actually is so necessary for experiencing our life on a higher levels, you can get this book also on my channel here on Facebook. I talk a lot about the self worth because I've noticed when I myself like grew my inner sense of self and I grew my own perception of myself, how my life truly changed. So if you have any questions, if you are interested in anything, please comment down below. You can contact me. I'm going to put my information in. You can also read my book and connect with me on those lives, because probably that's the easiest way to really find out more. How can you help yourself? All right. That's it for today. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I'm sending you hugs, lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.